Hello Year 6 and welcome to Wednesday support video. Today's learning is about multiplying numbers. So the main white rose task today will focus on multiplying decimals by integers, which is just a posh way of saying whole numbers. So what we're going to do in the support task today is go and have a look at when we're just using whole numbers to remind ourselves of how multiplication, and in particular multiplication using column methods, works, because it's been quite a long time now. It's not only before Christmas, it was the half term before that as well. So it's a long time ago, so we need to go back and recap, because if we remember the main points from when we were multiplying whole numbers, so making sure we're really clear about our place value columns and we're really clear about what each digit is worth and why we need to put some placeholders into certain columns, then that will help us with decimals, because it just works the same way. We just need to be really clever and really careful with our place value. So after last week's debacle with me trying to write on the screen with subtraction, which I know Mr. Gooding found very entertaining, but I'm sure it's quite painful for you to watch, I'm going to leave it to the experts today. So we're going to have a little look at how we multiply using the column multiplication method, and then I'll show you the task to have a go at before trying the main white rose ones today. So here we're going to explore multiplying whole numbers using column methods.
Today we're going to build on our multiplication understanding to move to multiplying 4-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. Here's our first question. Have a think about how you'd start to complete this calculation. Along the first row, of course, we'll do 2,313 times 2, because we have a 2 in the ones column of our 2-digit number. Let's carry that out. 3 ones times 2 ones is equal to 6 ones. And then working to the left, we have 2 times 110, of course, which is 2 tens or 20. Keeping going, 3 hundreds times 2 is equal to 6 hundreds, and 2 thousands times 2 is equal to 4 thousands. What we've done so far, of course, is we've doubled 2,313, because timesing anything by 2 means doubling it. Now let's think about the second row. The second row is going to be 2,313 times 30. And because we're timesing by 30, before we do that multiplication, which is of course 30 times 3, not 3 times 3, we need to write the 0 as the placeholder. 30 times 3, or 3 tens times 3, is equal to 9 tens. Working our way to the left, 3 tens times 110, well, that's going to be equal to 3 hundreds. 3 tens times 3 hundreds, that's going to be equal to 9 thousands. And the last multiplication on that row, 3 tens times 2 thousands, that's equal to 6 thousands. Then we add, starting in the ones column, of course. We have 6 ones. We need to exchange in the tens column because we have 11 tens. We exchange 10 of them for 100, leaving 110. We have another exchange to do, and another exchange to do. Therefore, 4 thousands and 7 ten thousands. Our answer, 74,016. Let's have a look at this question. 6,324 times 33. There's the formal written method set up, ready to be completed. Have a go at answering that question. Is there something that you notice as you're doing the calculation? We know that the first row is going to be 6,324 times 3. And our first calculation on that row is 4 ones times 3 ones. That, of course, equals 12 ones. Therefore, we need to do an exchange. We have 12 ones. We're going to exchange 10 of those ones for 110. How is that shown? We're going to write a small 1 there to show the 110. And then we're going to write the 2 ones that we still have. Don't forget that 110, because our next multiplication is 2 tens times 3, which is equal to 6 tens. But we don't write a 6 in that box, we write a 7 because we add the 110 we've exchanged. 7. And then we cross out the 1. It's really useful to cross out that 1 when we've dealt with it. Into the hundreds column we have 3 hundreds times 3, which is equal to 9 hundreds. And in the thousands column we have 6 thousands times 3. That's equal to 18 thousands. Again, we can exchange 10 of those thousands for 1 10,000, leaving 8 thousands. And then, of course, we can write that large 1 10,000 there. Now onto the second row. We always put that 0 as the placeholder, of course. Then we have 3 tens times 4, which is going to equal 12 tens. Again, some exchanging can be done. We've exchanged 10 of the tens for 100, 2 tens remaining. then we're going to, of course, have 700s because we've added that 100 on after the multiplication. We're going to have 9,000s, and we're going to have 18 10,000s. So we can exchange 10 of those 10,000s for 100,000, leaving 8 10,000s and 100,000. Then we can start to add. Some exchanging in the hundreds column here, and in the thousands, and in fact in the 10,000s, to leave our answer with 208,692. However, you might have noticed that the second row of multiplication is just the same digits as the first row, but with a 0 in the ones column. In other words, the second row is 10 times the size of the first row, which makes sense, because the second row is multiplying by 30, which is 10 times the size of 3, which is what we were multiplying by on the first row. Have a go at this question. There will be some exchanging involved. That's the two multiplications we need to do. There's the first row. There's the second row. The second row shows us that sometimes we can exchange more than 10 of a certain place value. We can see we've exchanged 2 lots there. Then the addition, our answer there, 215,540.
Hopefully that video was really helpful in giving you a quick recap of column multiplication and how it works, and it's going to help you with the tasks that we've got here. So just to quickly talk you through them, the support tasks look like these and they build up gradually. So in the first examples in section 1, the column multiplications are actually completed for you. You can see the first one here. Both rows of the column multiplication have been completed, and all you need to say is, in this row for example, how many lots of 2,433 is this 4,866, and then you need to look in the ones column, see how many lots that was. And then when we look in the second row, you need to say how many lots of 2,433 that was there. So we need to go and have a look in the tens column. And if we move down to B, it's the same thing. So they've done everything for you, shown the exchange here, and we need to fill in how many lots of 2,433 this first row is. So again, look at your ones, and the second row, have a look there. And they just got to finish in the final step here. They haven't given you the actual answer, so you need to add together both rows. And then C is the same as there. So that's section 1. So they've done most of the work for you, and you can just see in the last one they haven't put what number is being multiplied here, but again you can see they've been using the same number and just multiplying it by different amounts. Section 2, they've taken away that little bit of help from you. So section 2 is still completing the multiplication calculations, and they've set the calculation out for you. So you can see this calculation here is 1,345 times 25, but they haven't completed any of the calculation for you. So you will need to think about row number 1, how many lots of 1,345 is this? And then look in your ones and you'll see how many lots that is. And then if you go and have a look at the second row, how many lots of 1,345 is that? Have a look in your tens, complete the rows and add them together. So that's the same for each calculation in section 2. So if we scroll down, you'll see they're just the same. So 3 calculations like that. Before you come to section 3, in section 3 there is no help from you. The support is all taken away, hand holding is over. So they've just given you the calculation. So A says 4,511 times 23, and they haven't given you anything. So you're going to need to lay out the calculation yourself, thinking very carefully about the place value of each digit. So make sure that your 3 of your 23 is lined up with the ones and is near the 1 here, and that your 2 that's worth 2 tens, don't forget, is lined up with the other one here. And then think very carefully, remember to put your placeholder when you're multiplying by the 2 tens to keep the place value correct. Same thing here. So make sure your 5 ones in 15 is lined up with the 7 ones in 5,037, and make sure your 1 10 in 15 is lined up with the 3 tens here in 5,037. Make sure those placeholders are there. And that's it. So section 3 is just a few different examples there, so you've got 6 of those to work through. But it's the same as always. As soon as you feel confident to have a go at the main task, which today is multiplying whole numbers by decimals, then have a go at that, because as long as you understand how the place value is working here, it's the same method. You can use column method for it, and again it's just thinking about place value and what number you're multiplying. So if I'm multiplying by tenths, I need to make sure that I'm focusing on that column. But again, Just move on as soon as you're ready, but there's plenty to have a go at here if you're not feeling very confident, but I have a feeling that you will whiz through these. So good luck today, Year 6. Bye.